What's going on, guys, and welcome to Friday Night Gas, the podcast with gas, bringing you the good, the bad and the downright mental side of the game. I'm your host Jay, aka FPL Jaysus, and I'll be here every week with my boys going through our highs and our lows of our mini league while doing our best to help you with your team. This is an unfiltered, unsponsored and unhinged look at the world of FPL. With it being such a monumental task, I've enlisted my friend, co-host and last year's mini league winner Liam, aka FPL Lum, to join me week in, week out to discuss the ins and outs of FPL. So please show your support, smash a like, subscribe or comment and let us know what you're doing. And let's get this podcast started, eh? How about that for an intro? Hi guys and welcome to Friday Night Gas. I'm your happy and humble host Jaysus, aka Jay of the FPL world, and this is our first of many podcast week one. I am here with my co-host Lum. Lum, say hey to everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hey everyone. Lum, winner last year, how are you feeling?
Confident? No, let's get it right. Double winner.
Double winner,
League
cup and league winner. So let's get into it. This is our very, very first episode. Lots to talk about. As you heard in the intro, there was an introduction from myself telling you who I am, who Lum is, and basically what we're going to do. So as we go through our FPL journey, looking at the highs and the lows of what's happening in FPL this season, you're going to come along with us for all the gas, all the banter, and all the shit that's basically put in our group chat. So Lum, what we're looking at today is we're looking at pre-season. We're looking at everybody, all these people, all the players that people have picked, and we're starting to look at the top three players in each position. So starting at the back, being a Manchester United fan, I know all about that with the dealings we had with David De Gea over the summer. Let's talk about the lack of dealings. We brought in Onana. Onana, what's my name? I can't wait not to sing that at the fucking Old Trafford. Let's talk about the top three keepers. So, who is coming in at number one for the most selected goalkeeper in FPL?
Right, the most picked goalkeeper at the moment is actually Areola from West Ham.
The area around the boob. That guy.
Pretty much, that's him. Yeah, he's 30% selected. He's coming in at 4 million. I don't know why. Maybe they think Fabianski's going to get dropped.
So Areola is the most selected goalkeeper in FPL, coming in at 4 million. Now, personally, if you're asking me, Fabianski probably will get replaced at some point for Areola. But when? When is that going to happen? After West Ham's season last season, is it even really worth going with a West Ham goalkeeper for 4 million?
I don't know, man. I mean, if he's a starter, 4 million is good, man. I mean, it frees up cash for everywhere else, don't it? But I don't know. That's a big risk. I mean, I'll admit, Areola's on my bench.
So you're one of the 30% then?
Yeah, but he's not my starter. He could be on everybody's bench. That could be the thing. Hoping that maybe he's going to be a starter, so then you can rotate the keeper on good weeks. But
see, personally, for me, for the extra 0.5 million, and I know money's very precious in FPL, but you could get somebody like Leno, who is guaranteed to play, will play for Fulham, gets bonus points. Mitrovic isn't going to be there to gobble them up. Pereira might not get his bonus points this year. Not if they're having Raul Jimenez up top. So there won't be many goals and assists. So for me, for the extra 0.5 million, surely a shot stopper, Leno would make more sense.
As a starter, yeah, but if you're putting him on your bench, the cheapest goalkeeper you can get is 4 million. So if he's on everybody's bench, well, 30% of people's benches, then it might be a good risk. I mean, who else at 4 million is going to be worth putting in that's going to be starting? There's what you're going to get like Luton and I mean, I don't know what Sheffield United's goalkeeper's price is, but if Areola comes as a starter, then 4 million.
What's Dean? What's Dean Henderson coming in this year? Do you know?
Top of my head now.
No, he's not. He's not prepared, is he? He's not. He's not brought his fucking note. So
What the fuck?
Areola, number one, top keeper in FPL. Number two, which I've got to my left ear, is Aaron Ramsdale
Yep.
coming
That's
in
a
at 5 million.
that's a good pick. I mean, Arsenal should keep clean sheets. He makes saves. Yeah, he's 5 million, but it's a safe option in it, really. So
Do you not think though the problem is with Ramsdale? I mean, I know they had a good year last year, and he sort of shone. Is that Ramsdale is kind of like one of the last breed of keepers now. He's a good shot stopper. What can you say? Shot stopper. But the issue is with Ramsdale. I mean, I'll be honest. The pre-season we played Arsenal, we battered them. We beat them twice. We beat them on penalties as well. Just for any Arsenal fans out there, he couldn't play. He
lol.
couldn't play out from the back. He's. I know it's like really fucking sort of in vogue at the moment for a goalkeeper to be able to be more or less a defender, but Ramsdale just doesn't seem to have it in his locker.
Nah, they did seem to struggle if they tried to play it from the back last season. If a team pressed them high, I mean, Brighton were one of them teams that just seemed to pen him in, and every time it went back to Ramsdale, they just closed him down, and they couldn't get out, and it cost them, didn't it? So
He reminds me of some sort of like council fucking version of Joe Hart. Not gonna lie,
there's a council
like
version of Joe Hart.
he does. It's like the remnants of some Ed Sheeran seaman that's just fucking grown sentient and put fucking gloves on. You
Gloves
know?
on. Stick it in nets.
Speaking of fucking seaman, third on the list, fucking Raptor Hands himself, Pickford.
No, I don't get this one. Don't get it. I just don't get it. He's 4.5 million. So what? You're either starting him or you're benching him. If you're benching him, why are you picking a 4.5 million player? If you're starting him, why are you starting him Jordan Pickford? There's surely better 4.5 options out there. So I don't know. Hello, Cat.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying at the start. 4.5 million. Surely you'd have Burnt Leno rather than Pickford on the bench. I know Everton have got some good fixtures, but one thing that I learned last year through FPL, and I have for the previous years, it's not always the fixtures, it's the form. And if we go by form, he was like the 17th best keeper last year, which makes
Yeah, I
him
know.
like the top five worst goalkeepers. So why the fuck would you go with Pickford?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like I say, if even if you put him on your bench, why would you waste 0.5 million? Why don't you just get a 4 million keeper? Why don't you take that risk on an Areola for 4 million? You're never going to need him. If you put a 4.5 or a £5 million player in,
Almost convinced me there, Lum. Almost convinced me to have a look at Areola. Almost, but not fucking quite. Right.
see, I
So
mean,
that
for other options, I mean, you've got Onana, who you said, who that's a good option. He's meant to be good with his feet. He'll get bonus points for passes. Man United usually concede a few shots, so if you can get save points and stuff like that. And then, I mean, one I'm watching is Flecken at 4.5 million for Brentford because I heard Reyes meant to be off. I mean, it's cooled down a little bit and there's not so much of it about, but there was a rumour that he was going, and that's why Flecken was signed. So, I mean, that's one worth keeping your eye on, surely, because 4.5 million. I mean, Raya was the top scoring goalkeeper last season, I think. He was in my
didn't
team for
didn't
most of the season.
didn't Raya sign for Spurs like fucking 8 years ago? And it's still not been confirmed yet.
Do they need a keeper? Who has Tottenham signed anyone as a
Lloris,
goalkeeper?
yeah, Lloris
No,
has gone, isn't he?
yeah, he's gone, but have they signed anyone to come in his place?
No, but Raya is meant to be the goalkeeper. Apparently, at the moment they've got Fraser Forster, who at one time, not going to lie, I gassed him up hard when Celtic beat Barcelona. So England's
Well,
number one, Fraser Forster. It's one of my green tea hot take moments.
well, that makes sense why the whole transfer room has gone quiet because it's Spurs, and we know how they drag their feet and how stingy Levy is. Brentford are probably
Yeah,
asking for too much. Well, not even too much money. They're probably asking for the right money, but Levy wants him for fuck all.
Spurs are just shit at transfers. They're very similar to us. Absolutely fucking abysmal for transfers.
I mean, I can't really say shit. I'm a Chelsea fan. We just buy everybody.
Yeah, I thought you were wearing your colours tonight, hence why I put the shirt on. And fucking
Well, I
brightest
didn't
one I
know
can
we were
find as
doing
well.
it. I didn't know we were doing this. You surprised me. I was on Elden Ring. I was in the catacombs.
So coming out of that, then there's Onana. There's obviously Edison, 13.7%. Nick Pope at 12.8%. Same price as Edison. I think that's fucking crazy. That Edison and Nick Pope are the same price. You'd clearly go with Edison. I know Newcastle had a strong showing last year, but
For the
six,
45.5, though, you're going to take Allison every time.
not
If
Allison, Edison, the other Brazilian.
Yeah, but Allison's the same price. He's 5.5.
Yeah, but Liverpool is shit.
No, but Allison is He's actually a really good stopper. Liverpool concede more shots generally than City. City concede one or two shots a game against. And I mean, if we go by last season, he was getting scored on against, a lot. So it was like that 5.5, whatever he was last year, 6 million. It was just a waste of money. And I mean, I wildcarded and put him in, but no, it was a free hit, and he got benched for both games for Ortega. So Pep.
Yeah, fuck. Pep. Fucking bold fraud. Right,
Sure, he was watching them.
moving on from the goalkeepers, we have the defenders next. So a defender that's going to be in all our teams before I even say it, fucking Estepinian.
51%, man.
51%, 5 million. The value on that guy is fucking incredible for what he did last season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 51%. You've got to start with him, haven't you? Really, you can't go any other way. 5 million.
And I mean, you'd have to be snorting some Colombian dust if you're not going to start with him. I have seen a few FPL videos that actually don't have him in. To be fair, they've loaded up more with the Brighton midfield and Brighton attack, but I think for what he does, for the value that he brings, and he's only going to go up throughout the season. Brighton's first couple of fixtures are fucking mint. I think you've
See, I
got to
mean,
go with
the
him.
Brighton attack though. Who's actually? I mean, you'd like to think the Toma, uh, Solly March.
Lum. We haven't even got to the attack yet. Don't
Yeah,
pick
but
his
I'm just
points.
saying, why load up on the fucking Brighton attack when you've got Estepinian who's nailed? The only person who can play there is Lamptey, and he's always injured.
So what we're
It,
saying is we're agreeing with the
oh
51.1%
yeah,
and the other 49.9% of you that haven't
wrong.
got him.
Clowns.
What the fuck are you doing?
Too much rum for breakfast.
Speaking of rum for breakfast, fucking Trippier comes in at number 2, man.
I don't
Fucking
know.
34.5% at 6.5 million. The
Don't know.
fuck?
I don't know. I don't know. That one. They've got shit fixtures as well to start.
Yeah.
Newcastle's first six are awful. I mean, yeah, they're going to get better at some point, and Trippier probably will get points. He's a bonus point magnet as well. But to start off with him for 6.5 million with their fixtures, nah.
With the
I'm
way
not
that
even considered it.
with the way that FPL has been priced this year, 6.5 million for a defender. If you're not pushing the boat out for Trent Alexander-Arnold, then me personally, I just think it's fucking suicide at the back. It's way too much money to put into a defender.
I think he's one of them defenders you pick what fixtures he goes in for. You pick, like, if he's got a double game week against two teams that are struggling, maybe you bring him in then and you have him for them 2 weeks and then you take him back out or you get him in on a free hit or something like that. But to have him and hold on to him, 6.5 million is a lot of money to tie up in a defender. That, I mean, Newcastle's defensive form did kind of go off a little bit towards the end of last season, so
Yeah, I watched him
I know.
pre-season against Aston Village, and fucking
Village.
Fabian Shaw was just letting people walk past him. So it looked like he was carrying a piano. So to be fair, it fucking doesn't matter how good Trips is and how many set pieces he's on. If they're getting scored on week in, week out, that clean sheet bonus ain't going to be there. So
He's losing 4 points every week.
listen, if he was 5 million, 5.5 million, I'd probably have him. But
Yeah, 5
for
million,
six
I'd
six
definitely.
6.5 million with the fixtures they've got to start off with as well, I fucking no way.
Nah.
Um,
Everyone's just getting him on last season's hype.
Pretty much. But that's what I think about Alexander Arnold. I know Klopp moved him into the middle towards the end of the season, but I think it was shit or bust. He had no other choice. They've not signed a new right back.
He's been playing
Um,
CDM in pre-season games. Right back then, unless
but
they're going to
again,
play three at the back.
if he's playing CDM, he's playing as a deep line playmaker. Um, he won't be able to get as advanced or as wide as he has been doing in previous seasons. So, 8 million for me at the start of the season, way too much for a risk. Way too much.
So I'm torn on Trent because I know what he can do, and I know not having him can be the like death blow in FPL. He can prop up and he can get a couple of assists and a goal in a game. And he can do crazy things, and if they keep the clean sheet as well, he's getting all the bonus points, and he's getting 20 points in the week.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. FPL
He,
suck
he's
his fucking rod hard.
he's got the potential to go off and just do mad things, but 8 million's it's a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe it's one of them that you sit on and you watch him for a couple of games and see exactly how he's doing. I mean, they've got Chelsea first, so it's probably not going to be the easiest of games. Then they've got Bournemouth, maybe see where he starts with the Chelsea game. And if he starts quite forward, then you bring him in against Bournemouth. Then you'd have to make sure you've got the funds to make one
available for
transfer.
him.
Yeah, and
That's what I
he's 8
mean.
million. Who are you going to take out? You're going to have a 2 or 3 million on the bench in the bank to be able to bring you in.
Again, the pricing structure blows my mind a little bit because like he had his worst season last season. He was fucking god awful. Liverpool were god awful. Yet he seemed to have just rose in price to 8 million quid. It's mad to me. I
I
think it's
think it
all
was
this
his end of season
expectation.
form.
I know, but his end of season form doesn't constitute an £8 million defender. £8 million defender. £8 million defender.
Yeah, it's a lot of
So,
money.
which brings us on to the third most picked. I've never had a bad word to say about this guy ever.
Yeah.
Pre-season is usually the death knell for him because all he does is fucking eat. He's had 3 good seasons, well, 2 good seasons and a good World Cup. Shawberto Carlos, the man, the myth, the legend, the pie-eating machine. Luke Shaw, £5.5 million, 33.2% selected.
I like Luke Shaw. I do like him. I think Anana's
What do
coming
you
in
think
and
about his
five.
football?
Shit.
But you like a dad bod.
Oh, guilty pleasure. Nah, I mean, when I saw his price come out for 5.5 million, I was like, yeah, he's got to be in the team. Now, it's the Onana thing I think that's throwing me. It's like, do you save 0.5 million, cover the Man United defence, and get Onana in, and free up 0.5 million somewhere else?
The problem is you're relying more on your clean sheets, aren't you, from your goalkeeper than you are for
Attacking threat. Yeah.
your attacking threat with Luke Shaw, which
Swings and
again,
roundabouts.
attacking threat, and also Manchester United have improved their defence, in my opinion. Bringing an Arner in, a keeper that can play out from the back, takes some of the pressure off the defenders because they know they've got a goalkeeper that will do sweeper keeping, that will be able to come for the ball, that will collect it, will take it off them, probably leading to less errors. I'm hoping less errors than what we had with David De Gea and what we saw with that mix-up between De Gea and Maguire when we were in Europe. Because I think the goalkeeper will take it on himself to actually play the ball out. So, in my opinion, the Man United defence is much improved with just the goalkeeper transfer. Martinez is back. He seems fit. Varane's fit. Malacia is not going to take his position. And if any of the centre-backs get injured, then it's either Lindelof or Shaw that comes in. So really, you get, for 5.5 million, a bit of a utility man who can play multiple positions across the back. So yeah, I'm with it for Luke Shaw. He's probably going to make my FPL starting team.
Yeah, I do like Shaw. I can't say anything against him. Like you say,
Fat,
he starts at left back.
lazy,
He's going to get forward. He's going to create chances.
got giraffe ankles.
If something happens to a centre back, he probably steps in there as well. So
Yeah.
I think he's one of them that you seriously have to consider having, to be honest.
And then after that, it's Alexander Trent Arnold that we've already spoke about. Trent Alexander Arnold. Who the fuck is Alexander Trent Arnold? This is his brother who plays for Everton.
Plays left back.
Sven Botman, John Stones, Bell for Luton. I'll be honest, I know nothing about Luton. Gabriel, another good
Bell
shout.
one's
And,
just bench fodder.
Yeah, and Reece James, who's injury prone at the best of times. So,
See, I prefer Chilwell over James.
Thing is, if Chilwell gets injured, he's out. He's out. If Reece James get injured, he's out for about 3 months and he's back. And he's out again. So,
But the thing is, obviously I'm a Chelsea fan. I watched some of the pre-season. I'm keeping my eye on it. There's cheaper ways into the Chelsea defence. Yeah, you lose that little bit of attacking threat, but Colwell is probably going to be a starter. 4.5 million. If Reece James gets injured, you've got Melo Gooseman. Gusto, that's him. 4 million, and he played really well against Brighton. He kept Matoma quiet.
What about you, man? Was it Bad Chili?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Colwell's more nailed. I just do. I think Poch has said that he sees him as a future star, and he wants to keep him. So he's making all this effort to keep him because it was no secret that Colwell wanted to leave. So I think it's going to be a choice.
What you're saying is you don't actually know who your backline is.
No, 100%.
But Poch is making him happy.
Poch is going to make him happy. He's going to give him a cuddle. No, I think he'll be a starter. I think he'll be a starter. And 4.5 million for, usually a top team is cheap. But I don't know. I'd probably Chilwell if I went for a Chelsea defender.
Chelsea have got some really good fixtures, but it's just predicting the team. I know Poch likes to keep an 11, so as soon as he's got it settled, then you pretty much know what's going on.
It's going to be. Yeah.
Did it at Spurs, didn't he? He knew what his 11 was. Did it pretty much at PSG as well. So, which links us into the midfield. So this is where the points. This is where you win FPL, in my opinion. The top line. So we've got 53% selected. Starboy himself, Bukayo.
Yeah. Can't go wrong, can you? He's on penalties. He's nailed on at that position. I don't see who can take his place. So, and Arsenal, I think they'll still be good. I don't think they'll have a hangover from last season where they flopped it. I think they'll still come back. So, yeah. I think he'll be good.
Yeah, I must admit the Arsenal midfield really stresses me out, man, because it's one of those where the more consistent points will come from Saka, your more explosive points will come from Martinelli, and you'll get a bit of both with Odegaard. So it's like, where do you go? If you can get Martinelli at the right time, then like you were about earlier with Trent, he goes off. He goes off.
Martinelli was my guy last season. I had him all season, and he was amazing. I was so disappointed when he got injured and had to take him out at the end of the season because he'd been in my team the whole year. He was just phenomenal. He outscored Saka last season. So,
well, between him, Odegaard, and Martinelli, they broke like the 40 goal mark, did they? Between all three of them, and then same for assists. So somebody had 13 and 11, somebody had 14 and 12, I think it was, and something like that. So it gives me a bit of a headache because the safe pick for me would be Bukayo, but a little bit of me, that gambler in me, wants to just fucking go with Martinelli because you know he's gonna. He's
0.5 cheaper as well. He's only 8 million.
So it's either consistent points or explosive points. Maybe just at the start of the season, feel your way in rather than going nuts and just get in.
Thing is with Martinelli, they've got Trossard, and his minutes can be cut. And there's more chance of Martinelli coming off early than Saka, I think. So at 60, 65, 70 minutes, Martinelli could come off and Trossard could come on. So that's another thing to take into account, whereas Saka tends to, if he comes off, it's late 80s, and it's a change of formation to go more defensive or something like that. Whereas if they lose lead or draw, really, he stays on the pitch.
But with like the inclusion of Havertz, so now Havertz can play wide as well. It might be a case that he gets a bit of a rest because he's at risk of burnout. I mean, Bukayo, he's still young. He's played a ridiculous amount of football. He seems the most consistent of all the Arsenal like players, attackers. He probably gets the most minutes on the pitch. At some point, he's going to need a bit of a rest. And then when you've got the likes of like Havertz is shit. Like if you ask me, he's wank. He was class at Leverkusen, but he's absolute bollocks in the Premier League. But they might give him a rest. And with the revolving front line of Jaysus, Eddie, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, there's a good chance that he may have slightly reduced minutes this year only because he's played so much football leading up to this.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but I just think Saka plays is the most consistent one. If you want to be sure someone's starting and they're going to play the vast majority of the minutes, Saka's the guy.
Saka is the guy, the star boy himself, which leads into our star boy, my star boy,
dinner lady,
feeds the kids, the dinner lady, the fucking Prime Minister of Manchester, should be the Prime Minister of the UK. He writes books, does TV shows. Is there anything this man cannot do? 30 goals last season. 30 goals last season. Marcus Rashford, the real star boy. Rash Bappe.
Shut up, man.
I'll tell you now. Rashford starts. He's in my FPL team.
I don't know how you're saying all this with his stick in your mouth.
Oh, Marcus. Listen, I fucking love him. Rashford is the guy. When Rashford goes off, he goes off. And last season, at one point, he was outscoring Erling Haaland. So for somebody to actually do that in world football is just fucking crazy. So he's had 2 shit seasons. Ollie played him through injury. He was fucking dire before last year. But then go back a little bit further when we had Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, Rashford absolutely banging. I think he's back to his best. For me, for fucking 9 million, Rashford's got to be in, surely. Man U's fixtures as well. Come on, man.
I like Rashford.
I do like his footballing ability. Second time I've had that joke.
Same answer.
Is there any footballers you don't like, them? Secondly. Mudrick, because his hair's wank.
I don't know, but he's faster. I do like a power.
You like a powerful Ukrainian? Isn't it hilarious how Chelsea fans have stopped being so fucking Russian?
I'd like Abramovich, but that is just...
I don't give a fuck if he was friends with fucking Jing Il Chon or whatever from Korea, man. Like, hang out with whoever you want to hang out with, man. But as long as you're pumping money into the club, it's cool. I've told you when the Saudis, bro, when the Saudis take us over, you think I'm not getting myself a fucking robe? You must be mad. I'll dance around in that blood money all day. Fucking bring it to us. Salam alaikum, brothers.
Yeah, I wish I said it, bro. So I don't know how the fuck we ended up with fucking Todd Bowley.
Todd Bolly.
What's a superstar fucking all-star game every season? And what does he wanted to play? 4-4-3 formation.
Yeah, Mr. Soccer himself.
Yeah, you don't even know how many players you got on the pitch. So when's the power play?
Split the game into 4 quarters.
We did a halftime show.
Yeah. Beyonce, you're up next. No, you're in the squad.
We feel it'll draw more crowding. Dickhead. Fucking might as well be on everyone else.
Listen, Rashford goes in. He's a starter for me. Man United have got some sick fixtures to start with. The boy's electric. As soon as we fucking get a striker in, and oh my god, I don't want to get gassed. I don't want to get gassed, but I'm feeling gassed.
I don't know. Sniffing
So
around,
that's
yeah.
is that gasoline I smell? So so that's Rashford. Coming in next, and this is what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about defence with Estepinian. Matoma, Japanese, quick, good at math.
Industrious stuff like
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. 6.5 million, 37.7% selected.
yeah, bargain. We'll see how they do because they've got European football this season. Will he get rotated? But yeah, I like Mitoma at 6.5 million. That's a bargain.
Yeah, and again with Brighton's fixtures, I think out of the first 6 fixtures, they're like second or third. They might even be top actually.
No,
Of
to be honest, City's got the best cities.
is it
City
City?
got the
Is
best.
it?
Yeah, their fixtures are ridiculous.
So yeah, man, he's for 6.5 million. I can only see him going up. I doubt he drops.
Isn't it
At
amazing
all.
either as well? Because at 6.5 million, that allows you to get more money elsewhere where you need it. You can get your Sakas, you can get your Rashfords or your Brunos because it's so cheap. It's
Lum,
it's one of
Lum,
them stars.
that was seamless. How you went into the next midfielder on the list,
Did I?
Bruno.
Again, I like Bruno. I
our,
also like
our
the
new
footballing
captain.
ability.
Yeah, Captain Bruno, man, 8.5 million. People were worried when Mason Mount came in, and they were saying that Bruno's probably going to be playing the deeper of the midfielders. Again, from what I've seen in pre-season, Bruno's a more advanced attacker. He scored again against Arsenal with a shot from outside the box, looking creative, looking sharp, and now he's captain of Manchester United. That's really going to spur him on. I think for 8.5 million, it's crazy to leave him out.
When I saw his price announced, I thought it was cheap because I mean last season what was it 10.5? I thought he might come down a bit, 9 at the most. So for him to come down to 8.5, and then Rashford come at 9, and it was like for FPL, who do you have both? Do you just double up? But then it's 9 million, it's 8.5 million. Then can you get Saka in as well? You know, somewhere your team's going to suffer. You're either going to go smaller in your defence, smaller in your attack. You can't have, like, you couldn't have 2 premiums. You couldn't have
Yeah.
Kane or Salah realistically. Because, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the big Norwegian guy because everyone's got him.
Well, Salah's actually fifth on the list. He's 24.5% selected at 12.5 million. Now, Salah was my guy last year,
Yeah.
and he was the only consistent player that played for Liverpool in an absolute shower of shit that they were. He was the only one that was putting up numbers and still consistently putting up numbers.
The thing is, everyone said he was having a bad season, but when you look at his FPL points, they were still good. They weren't bad at all. He was still one of the top performing midfielders, which is just crazy to think that everyone was like, oh, he's having a bad season. And then you look at his points and like, hang on, that ain't that bad actually. All right, it's
Was
not as
it
good as usual, but
was it last season when they beat Bournemouth 9-0 and Salah got nothing?
I
It
think
was, wasn't it?
me and you both had him for that week. I think.
Captained him.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
remember.
what a dark day.
I had him for the game where he got 3 assists as well, and he didn't get the bonus points. He didn't get any bonus points at all. I was like, he set up everything.
Let's not
I
talk
can't
about
remember.
bonus points. I'm
I think he missed a
still
penalty though.
pissed.
Did he miss? He missed a penalty in one of
I
them
think he
games.
did, yeah. I'm still pissed about that random Chelsea player getting all the bonus points after we dicked you 4-1. That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Not listen, not that I'm salty, FPL, but I'm fucking salty. Cunts. So Saka, Rashford, Mitoma, Fernandez, Salah, then Mbeumo,
I
Odegaard.
like him, Remo. 6.5 million. Tony's out
Interesting.
on penalties. Cheap.
Strong, athletic. Handsome, cute smile. Walks old ladies across the road. Why wouldn't you pick him?
Exactly.
The only spanner that's been thrown into the works when I was looking at Umbuemo is Diaby going to Aston Villa for the same amount of money.
Yeah, he's going to be sick. He is.
I've got a feeling that if Villa hit the ground running, Diaby's going to be the man that gets them going.
I think he
For the
is with
same,
Watkins.
potentially.
He's a proper good player, and he's lively, man. He's fast, so
Fast.
he's gonna cause issues, man. If he comes in and he can adapt to the Premier League quick enough, he's gonna be a problem, man. Villa do some good business.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm sort of on the fence. I am looking at him. I don't know whether it would be a case of do I try and get on it early with DRB, or is it a case of I don't select him because fuck Pez. So
What I've got written
um,
down is one that I've seen that's been mentioned a lot is Phil Foden. He's coming at 7.5.
yeah,
I'm just scared to. I mean, he's one of them. If you get him at the right time, wow, he's getting your points. And there's nothing nobody can do about it because he's just immense. But I don't know what it was last season. I know he had some injuries and stuff like that, but he wasn't getting to play as often. But with all of City's outgoings, I mean, Mahrez has gone now. Gundogan's gone. Who else has gone?
midfield wise, I'm not 100% sure. Walker's gone, hasn't he? But that doesn't affect Foden in the slightest. Silva was
Yeah,
meant to be going, but he seems to still be at the club,
yeah,
whether or not he goes. But it does free up space in City's midfield for a Phil Foden. I think Pep's very good at sort of resting his younger players and taking them out the firing line, or helping them recuperate, ready to sort of unleash them again next season. So for 7.5 million again, I mean,
with City's
he's
fixtures as well.
yeah, he's almost a lock. If you can find that extra million, he's a definite upgrade on Buemo. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward with any City player, apart from Haaland, isn't it? Because you never know who's going to get. I mean, because of that, you look at those City fixtures and you want to target City's players at the start. Realistically, you would want three City players, whether it's Haaland and two midfielders or a defender, midfielder, and Haaland. But it's like, how do you choose who to put in? Because yeah, they all might start the first game, but the second game, third game, there might be one missing from here, one missing from there. It's so difficult to predict the Man City
I,
lineup.
I think it's slightly easier this year because of the amount of players that have been going out and not a lot have been coming in. That Pep Roulette might not be as bad this year. So Foden might get more playing time. I think the only person that really rivals him for that position would be Silva or Alvarez. But whether Alvarez wants to convert to that, because he was bought as a striker, but obviously he's been playing across the front, but mainly due to the fact that Foden's been injured. So we'll have to see. That Foden's definitely one to keep an eye on. And I
Oh yeah,
think
yeah,
if you can get him early and City do the business, I think he'll be a big part of it.
yeah.
Which leads us on to the attackers. We're not going to spend long on this one because it's just a foregone conclusion. Like night follows day, like fucking morning, like follows night.
I wonder
Like
who's top.
fucking Erling Haaland, man, 86.2%. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that highly owned in my life playing this game for like nearly 10 years.
I'm
14
more
million, didn't
surprised
he?
that 14% haven't picked him. Just why wouldn't you pick him?
I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe it's a case of they've gone Salah and Trent, hoping that those points are going to magically appear more than Haaland's. I mean, what's Haaland's first couple of fixtures? So Haaland's first three fixtures are Burnley, Newcastle, and Sheffield United, and still 13.8% of people didn't pick Haaland. Fucking Burnley, really? That's triple captain written all over it. Deke.
Deek. Now Ben said he's going to triple captain Haaland first week. He's trying this year, though. Remember?
Oh yeah, he's good at FPL when he tries. No.
He's only about fucking
So
500 points behind me.
yeah. Yeah, Erling Haaland's an absolute monster. He's a robot, and I
Yeah,
can't see anything changing anytime soon. I really can't. So
yeah.
yeah, if you haven't got
I
Haaland
mean,
in your team,
Idiot.
you are absolutely gassed off your tits.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You got to have him. Got to have
Yeah.
him.
Well, as Haaland is the second coming, number 2 in our list, Gabriel Jesus. You see what I did there, Lum? Fucking, I'm getting so good at this.
Okay. Stop gassing yourself.
Gabriel Jesus, man,
I'm on the fence.
I'm really on the fucking fence with this one. I'm not on the fence at all. I'm on the other side of it. I think it's a fucking shit pick, man. I ain't gonna lie.
The thing is, like, okay, yeah, when he's fit, he's going to be starting. But even when he was fit and starting last season, Scott, he was, he still wasn't doing that much. He wasn't putting up. If you compare him to the other big strikers in the game, Haaland, Kane, he was nowhere near him. So, I mean, I know he's a lot cheaper, but I don't know. I just think there's possibly better options around that price point. They're even cheaper. So,
I think he's an enabler, but I think the stats speak for themselves, man. The reason it's not down to injury at all, man. It's more of a case of the fucking midfield carried Arsenal last year. He had a hand at the start, then he got injured, then he got back in the team and he tailed off. I just don't think he's a very good footballer. He's like a shit Bobby Firmino.
yeah, pretty
He
much.
he's not clinical, but he's there to like hold the ball up and pass it out and then bring everybody else in. I know he's 8 million, but 32.4%. I honestly think it's fucking FOMO. I think the FPL creators have gassed him up so much that everybody's like, oh, we've got to have him. He's going to be fantastic. Arsenal, fucking great. Not
The thing
really,
is, this
man.
happened last season. Everybody went for him last season, and he didn't do that much. He was higher on than this last season. I'm sure he was like 50% or something like that, and he wasn't great.
I think even Nketiah outscored him last year.
He might have done. Eddie was all right when he
Eddie had a
came.
purple patch, didn't he? He had a
Yeah,
purple patch. Yeah, for 8 million, when you've got the likes of Watkins that is also 8 million, you've got Isak who's 7.6. You've got Wilson who's 8 million. Now Newcastle's fixtures aren't great, but I think for raw output, goal scoring power, the fact he hasn't got penalties, Saka's got them. I just think he's a shit transfer. Man. I think he's just. Listen, it might prove me to be wrong. We might come back to this video in like 3 months and be like, Gabriel Jesus is outscoring Haaland. I fucking doubt it. But
yeah.
yeah, for me, for 8 million quid, you might as well set fire to it, man.
You'll eat your hat if he's outscoring Haaland.
Yeah, I
Heard
will.
it.
I will. I
You
fucking
heard it.
promise. I promise you, I heard it first.
He'll eat his
So,
hat.
which then leads us into this one's really strange, man. I can't quite get my head around this, and I've not seen much pre-season to make me think any different. I know he's lit up the Bundesliga, but Nkunku,
I like Nkunku. I think
19.6% owned, 7.5 million. It's the price tag for me. I think people are gassed by the price tag.
I think the price helps a lot. If he would have come in any higher, then yeah, he's probably not getting picked as often. But he was a Bundesliga top scorer. He's 7.5 million. Poch is more attacking. The thing to question about Nkunku is where is he going to play? I think he plays. I think he takes penalties. But is he going to play as the main guy up front, the number 9, or is he going to be the 10? Because Poch has already said that he can play multiple positions. He can play more wing. He can play behind the striker. He can play the striker. So it's like, where is he actually going to fit? That's the question for me.
Yeah, it could be another Havertz, to be honest, because Havertz sort of played
I know he's
off the
better than
striker
Havertz.
at Leverkusen, didn't he? I'm
I
not
think he's a
saying
better striker than Havertz. I think he can finish better from what I've seen
but
from pre-season.
in the Bundesliga, Havertz was very much seen as like a secondary striker or sort of like an attacking like a cam, an attacking midfielder
Yeah, I never
that
thought
could
Havertz was a striker, and it didn't make sense that we played him there. It was just that that's what we had with Lukaku. Obviously, throwing his tools out in the Prem going to Italy. Broly
But
was injured.
it's crazy when you think about it. When you got the likes of like Lukaku, who's a striker that was not wanted. Aubameyang, who was shit. Obama blood clot Yang, absolute balls man last season. And then you're playing Kai Havertz up top, who's just not fucking scoring, just isn't scoring, but yet playing consistently over and over again. It's like
We
you
didn't have any
should
other options. What else
Sterling. I
was
did fucking Petr Cech. Anybody? He's just had a fuck up last
it?
season. So Todd Bolley.
Get him on the pitch.
American buddy.
Pick it up and carry it over the line.
Yeah, for me, I think Nkunku's mainly been picked for the price tag, rather than the fact that people think he's gonna set the Premier League alight. In my opinion, he's
I,
got the potential to. I like him. I think he's a good player, but I just think it's the price tag that's got him third in the list.
yeah, that's probably helped because there's not much value down that end for starters, for teams that are expected to be top half. I mean, you can look at some other teams that, I mean, Evan Ferguson is 6 million, but he's not guaranteed to start because they've got João Pedro who's coming. And
See, João Pedro is a great shout, man. He looked hot against who they playing today against you lot, actually.
yeah, he was good against us.
Yeah,
Very good on the ball. You know, he could be taking penalties. I think he did take the penalty, didn't
he
he?
did take the penalty. Yeah,
Yeah, he did take the penalty. Yeah, Pascal Gross wasn't on the pitch at the time now because
no,
Gross
but he's
sometimes
only coming in at five. He's coming in at 5.5 million.
that's
Like
cheap.
ridiculously cheap. Just before we go over to Brighton a second. I tell you, who has impressed me pre-season. It's looked pretty good. Your new striker,
Nicholas
Jackson.
Jackson. I was going to say
Yeah,
7 million. He's coming in at,
yeah.
and he looks really
He
good.
he could genuinely be a steal. He could.
His link-up play
Whereas
was really good as well. We've been missing that guy that you can play into and make runs off, and he seems like he's that guy. Havertz just didn't seem to have that about him, whereas this guy seems to have eyes in the back of his head, and he's got a good touch on him. I mean, the goal he set up for Modric was brilliant. It was a great string of passes and
yeah,
a great finish for someone who's out of confidence. So, I mean, that's going to do him well.
and he took his goal well as well. He's strong. He's athletic. He's quick. He looks like he wants to be the main man.
That's why I'm saying Nkunku could play behind him because can you drop somebody who's in that good of form?
No, I think you will play him. I think you'll play potentially Jackson up front and Nkunku sitting
Yeah,
behind him,
that's what I
Sterling
think.
left, Mudryk right, or swap them over whichever way it is, and then two holding midfielders and then four at the back maybe. Or I might have just Todd Bollied it there and just fucking had about 16 players. Either way.
Yeah, hold on.
So after that you've got
Protect
Ollie
Kepa.
Watkins, 8 million, 14.6%. Kane, 12.5 million, 14.1%, which considering what's happening with Spurs and Kane, I think's mad. But again,
I
you
like
know,
Kane. I mean, if he doesn't go, he's probably a must-have for me. If he stays in the Premier League, I know he's expensive, and I know you got to pair him with Haaland, but he's fixture proof. He's going to score goals. He's going to create goals. He can do everything, and he just gets bonus points.
yeah, and with Madders there as well, Madders will be feeding him for days. So
Exactly. They've signed someone now who Kane will not have to drop as deep to create these chances because Matters can do all that. Matters is a baller, so he
again,
won't
Madders
have
is
to
coming
step
in at
back.
7.5 million. So again, points
That's
from
a good
midfield,
price.
assists.
Yeah,
But with James Maddison slotting in there, not only do you enable Kane to get forward and do more, you also free up Sonny, and Sonny's coming at 9 million as well. So
yeah.
Tottenham potentially, but this is the thing. It's always the fucking same
It's
thing every year.
potential. Yeah, it is.
Potential. Spurs potentially could do this. If your nan had bollocks, she would be your granddad. It's that with Spurs.
Yeah, I don't trust. I trust Spurs attack. I don't trust the defense,
I just don't fucking
especially
trust Spurs.
since they haven't. No, saying that though, Kane was going off last season. I know Son had a
Yeah,
bad season for his own compared to the year before when he was on fire and he was he joint top scorer with Salah, wasn't he? I think
yeah, it was. Yeah,
so. He had for his own personal, how he usually does. It was poor for him, but Kane was just immense playing in a poor
he's
Spurs team.
yeah, he's one of those players. Just like what we were talking about at the start when I was saying like sometimes you just need to you can't always attack the fixtures. You have to go by form, and Kane's form, Salah's form, Haaland's form, Trent.
You have those
And
players that just beat the fixtures. You just have to have them all season.
yeah, and it makes me more confident. I mean, the way United finished the season last season, when I look at the likes of like Rashford and Bruno, they're going to be in form more than they'll be out of form. They're more or less like sets and forgets, aren't they? So
Pretty much, yeah. Unless they get like
it,
a double game week and they have two tough fixtures. If you get City and Arsenal or something like that, you get two difficult fixtures and you've got someone from another team who's got two easy fixtures. That's the only reason why you take them out. Because generally you'd expect Rashford to be able to score against anybody and Bruno to be able to do what he does against anybody. Maybe nick a penalty. So,
yeah. So there you are then, Lum. That is the top three that we've gone through. We've gone through the goalkeepers, the defence, midfielders, and the strikers. Have you got a personal pick out of all the players that we've picked that are the utter worst? Do not go near them. They've got chlamydia, and chlamydia covered AIDS. If you put them in your FPL team, then
Jordan Pickford. I don't get it.
It's got to be Pickford, it's got to be Pickford, man.
If it was 4 million, I'd get it because you can stick him on your bench and you know he's the starter.
Yeah.
So he if something happened and your goalkeeper was injured and he couldn't play or something like that, Pickford's definitely going to come in and play. But why would you put a 4.5 million player on your bench and you're even crazier to start him? I don't get it. I mean, could be proved wrong. Sean Dyche could get him defending well and they might be slightly better than last season, but I don't know. I don't see it.
I like how you're trying to cover yourself there, Lum. I'm going to be less on the fence than that. Pickford's shit. And the only reason I like him is because he nearly broke Van Dijk's leg. So, for that reason, put him in your FPL teams, please. So, out of everybody else, you can't pick Haaland. Who is the player you think is essential? You've got to have in your team, no matter what.
If I'm going off percentages, it's Saka, but I've just got a feeling about Rashford. I think Rashford is more of a goal threat than Saka, so I'm saying Rashford.
Yeah, I must admit, even though I'm obviously slightly biased because I fucking love United and I love Marcus Rashford and his sloping forehead. Yeah, it's got to be Rashy for me. I've just got a feeling that he's just going to go. He's just going to go this season, man. I think Ten Hag's really going to get us playing some more expansive and better football, and now we've got a goalkeeper that can pick the channels and almost play the ball like in Edison. I think it's really underrated, the fact that we've got Onana and he's a ball playing goalkeeper. If he can hit those channels, Rashford's going to be in behind a hell of a lot of defences, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see, won't we? Because it is a lot of ifs. We're all talking him up and he could come in and it might not work out, but on paper it looks good. It looks like a really good transfer.
Yeah. So those are the tips from myself and Lum. Those are the top three that are picked across FPL at the moment. Time recording. Stay away from Jordan Pickford, but absolutely salivate and get your dick out for Marcus Rashford is basically the scale that we've gone for. So we'll have to turn it into something. It'll be like Starboy fucking AIDS or something. I don't know. I'll come up with a better title for it. But yeah.
Fucking AIDS.
Fucking AIDS. So that was the first episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope there was some information in there that you could take from to have a look at your own FPL team. Like we said, it's an FPL channel with a bit of a twist. We don't play it safe. We've got our own opinions, some strong opinions and some serious hot takes. I will be here every week. Lum will be here every week. And the gas men that we've got in the rest of the chat, and I'm talking to every single one of you that are in the group chat, will potentially make an appearance. If we get enough subscribers, enough likes, and people are enjoying what we're doing, then we might even do an FPL Friday night gas live and manage to get everybody around the table, a couple of beers, and hear some shit, man. Oh my god.
That would be annoying. Imagine.
So this was this was Friday Night Gas. This was the first episode. episode. Next episode coming next week. I've been FPL Jaysus. This has been
FPL Lum.
And this is Friday Night Gas. Don't forget to do your teams. Peace.